The folks at ARESGAME were kind enough to send me this 650 watt, 80 plus bronze rated power supply. I'm going to unbox this power supply, check it out, and install it on this machine right here that currently does not have a power supply. That's coming up on ThriftyAV. Before I unbox this ARESGAME 650 watt power supply, I want to look at the outside of the box. The brand is ARESGAME. This is the model AGV650. It is a 650 watt power supply rated 80 plus bronze. Here's the barcode. Features include stable power with very low electrical ripple and noise, complete protection, OPP, OVP, UVP, and SCP. Provides up to 650 watts at 40 degrees Celsius. Has an ultra quiet 120 millimeter fan, active power factor correction, PFC, and a 3-year warranty. The main power connection is a 20 plus 4 pin. And then CPU power, there's 2 of them on the same pigtail, an 8 pin and a 4 plus 4 pin. There are 6 SATAs, 2 PCIe 6 plus 2 pins. Now that lets you hook it up to a 6 pin GPU or an 8 pin GPU, and there's 2 of them. There are 2 Molex peripheral connectors for older devices and fans. And there is 1 floppy 4-pin connector. The AC input is 100 to 240 volts AC. This little chart shows the efficiency of the power supply, and you'll notice that in the middle at about 50% load, this thing hits peak efficiency. Getting into the box. The user manual's right here on top and has all English instructions. This is a non-modular power supply with all the cables wrapped in a Velcro tie-down. It comes with a standard grounded power cable. This inspection tool lets you test the power supply without hooking it up to a motherboard. Some computer builders prefer modular and semi-modular power supplies where you hook up pigtails into these little slots here. Now there are some issues with this. The first issue being is that these are non-standardized. So if you have a pigtail for one brand of power supply, it might not have the same pinout as a pigtail for another brand, and you could potentially damage your computer equipment or the power supply by hooking up the wrong one. Also, they're real easy to lose. So if you don't have the right one, you might not be able to hook up your gear. This is not going to be an issue with the ARESGAME because all the pigtails are coming out of this hole right here and you're not going to disconnect or lose them. Here's a quick inspection tool in use. Okay, with the test tool plugged in, when I toggle the power, it spins up. And they are not kidding. That is a very quiet fan for those of you who are concerned about noise. It's really better to install the power supply before you install the motherboard. But that was already in there and it fit like a charm. I'm just going to screw it down. This power supply came with 4 black screws that match my case, so that's nice. When dealing with a non-modular, I move all the cabling up out of the case and pull in what I need as I need it. So the first thing I need to do is provide power to the main board, and that occurs in 2 locations. Plug it in right there. And then there's another main board connection right here. That's an 8 pin. Now there are 2 CPU connectors here. I only need one of them for this board. And because I only need one, I'm going to use the one that's out further, and I'll tuck away the excess. Clip side goes toward the top of the motherboard, and it just snaps in. The Ryzen 3 2200G CPU has built-in graphics, so I am done. I don't have any drives, I don't have anything else to hook up. But just for giggles, I'm going to hook up an old video card up to this to show you how to connect it with these cables. There are two PCIe connectors that are 8-pin, but what you can do is you can slide up these last 2 pins and turn it into a 6-pin connector. And then it pops in like so. Alright, this full-length card here is not going to fit in this case with this fan here. Okay, I've turned power onto my power supply. I have all the power connected and the supplemental power hooked up to this old ATI. Let's power this thing up. Now that is a noisy fan. Most modern devices use SATA style power connectors, and they plug in like so. And there are 1, 2, 3 of them on this pigtail, and 3 more of them on this pigtail. So 6 devices that use this type of connector. Of course, if you have more than that, you can always use a splitter. There are also 3 Molex type connectors and this floppy type connector, so you can plug in to the old Molex connectors. Floppy drives aren't the only thing that uses a floppy connector. Here's an old FireWire card, and you hook it up to the floppy connector like so. Now, having so many power connections on a computer where I'm just really using a few is a bit of a waste, I suppose. But cable management is a little bit easier with this strap. I'm just going to take these ones I'm not using, fold them over, wrap them with this Velcro strap here, and I can tuck this away inside an unused drive bay. Okay, out of sight, out of mind, all those cables are stuck up in this unused drive bay. But I also have these 4 wire ties, and I want to use them. I don't like this power cable just hanging out on the top here. I basically don't want my main power rubbing up against any fans, so I'm going to strap it right here. And now it is conveniently not touching any fans. Time to put the case back together and power this thing up. This program I'm running is called Open Hardware Monitor. It's looking at temperatures and voltages. Everything looks pretty good right now. But I'm going to leave this sitting overnight. Make sure there's not a problem with this power supply by just letting it run for a while. I've been running this computer with the ARESGAME power supply installed for 2 days now straight with just 1 restart, so Windows could do an update. No problems at all. Right now I am doing a benchmark calculating pi up to 8 million digits. That's putting a little stress on the CPU. It's handling it just fine. So the ARESGAME 650 watt power supply has been stable for days on end now. 650 watts should be enough power for pretty much most systems, including gaming rigs. The fan on the power supply is very quiet, so it will not contribute a lot of noise to your system. The non-modular design means that you're going to have to tuck away those cords and pigtails. That's not a big deal for me, but for some of you who are a little obsessive about cable management, you might not like that. Now, the 80+ bronze rating on this is certainly efficient enough for me, especially on a backup system. But if you are running full tilt all the time, you might look into one of the higher tiers of efficiency. But most importantly, this ARESGAME here is one of the most affordable power supplies you can find with 650 watts of power and a 80 plus bronze efficiency rating. So if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you to my patrons for supporting this channel, and remember, stay thrifty, everyone.